The worst enemy of the Prophet ﷺ in Mecca was Amr ibn Hisham. Do y'all know who Amr ibn Hisham is? The people of Seerah. You know who Amr ibn Hisham is? Abu Jahl. He was the worst of the enemies of the Prophet ﷺ. And this story for me should tell us how we got to be. This is Abu Jahl. And trust me, Donald Trump ain't like Abu Jahl. But look how the Prophet was with Abu Jahl. He related that the Prophet ﷺ used to take certain paths in Mecca. And Abu Jahl, he used to follow the Prophet ﷺ, looking to see his route so he can harm him. So he noticed a certain route of the Prophet ﷺ that he always took. And he got his shovel and he dug a big ditch there on the road. And he covered that part of the ditch with leaves from the date palm tree. Big leaves so he couldn't see it. And look at the mercy of Ar-Rahman for Ar-Rahmatul Muhda, for the gifted mercy. He inspired the Prophet ﷺ, don't take that route. So the Prophet ﷺ neglected that route and went another route. And don't think routes are not important, because everything we get in this religion is from a tariq. It is a path, it's a route. If you don't learn to follow paths, turuq, that lead you to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, you're going to be a loser. Fi dunya wal akhirah, in this world and the hereafter. That's an indication. And our teachers used to say, whoever doesn't understand an ishara, an ibara will do them no good. If you can't understand the indication, a clear expression ain't going to help you. There are isharat in the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. And we say them al-isharat ilahiyya. They are godly, lordly indications. But that's for Ahl al-Basira, for people of inward sight. Because you can look at things from the side of al-Basr, from your physical sight, your eyes. But if that heart is not munawwar, that heart is not illuminated, and it doesn't see properly and perceive matters, you can't benefit from the seerah or for the sunnah or for the hadith. You can read as many as you want. You need an illuminated heart that has vision, that is able to see indications. So what did he do? The Prophet took another route. And later, Abu Jahl, he forgot that path. Because he was still following the Prophet ﷺ, but he forgot that path that he laid out. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused him to walk on that path. And as he walked on that path, he fell in that ditch. And at that time, when he was in that ditch and he couldn't get out because he dug it real deep, and he hurt himself when he fell in there, the Prophet ﷺ walked up. And he heard someone crying out of that ditch. And the Prophet looked and he saw his enemy, Abu Jahl. Pause. If any of us saw Abu Jahl, our enemy, I probably would have threw dirt on him. Straight up. This is the enemy of Allah. We know how we do. Muslims, relatives. You do me dirty, I'm going to get you. You know how we act. And I got to make this brief because it's Maghrib time. The Prophet ﷺ said, what happened to you? He said, some wretched person dig a hole and made me fall into it. See how we cracked up? The Prophet didn't laugh though. I mean, it's funny, but the Prophet didn't laugh. You know what he did? He took his pure, tahir hand and he put it in the hand of that najis, filth, mushrik, and he pulled him out that ditch. Salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. And you know what our scholar said about that? And it is an ishara, if you pay attention. It's an indication. What is it? He said, the Prophet ﷺ was sent as a mercy to pull people out the hellfire. He wouldn't leave anybody if it is in his ability to go to the hellfire. But, ma sha'Allahu kan wa ma lam yasha' lam yakun. What Allah willed to be, and what He didn't will to be, will not be. So some people are ahl nar. But we should always remember this story and remember the Prophet salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi is always extending his hand to pull us out the hellfire. It is upon us to put our hands out. Our teachers used to say we made a covenant among ourselves. And I'm talking about real ulama, real scholars, arifun billah, people who know Allah. I'm not talking about juhal with information. There's a big difference. They said we made a covenant that the one who is saved from us, and naji minna, the one who is saved, rescued, he's going to take the other by the hand and pull him out of the damage. That's mercy. None of us should say, I want to go to Jannah without everybody else in this room. If we look at the Sahaba, they gave their life with that meaning. I'll die to save you. And even that enemy who used to do some of the ugliest things to the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet was pulling him out. But he didn't accept. The Prophet ﷺ is pulling us out. Because we live in a pit in our communities, in our community, in our society, especially us. The Prophet ﷺ is pulling us out. All this knowledge we're talking about, that's his honorable hand pulling us out that pit, pulling us out that ditch. Are we going to open our hands and accept?